In this lesson, we are going to learn how we can sign the APK that we generated in the last lesson. We'll start by learning how we can create a new key store with a signing key inside it, and then we'll use that key to sign the APK that we had built in the last lesson. Finally, we'll use the tools provided to us by the Android SDK to generate the final file that we can go ahead and upload on the Google Play Store. So let's go back to Visual Studio Code. And here you can see that on the left, I have the Visual Studio Code with the terminal open, and on the right, I have the Finder window with the folder opened that contains the APK file that we created in the last lesson. This is because when we sign the APK file, we'll need the path to this APK file, and I don't want to type the whole path manually every time. So I have the APK file right here, and I can drag and drop it inside the terminal to get the complete path. So let's make a little more room here, and the first step is to generate the key store. And to do that, we have a utility called KeyTool, which is located inside the folder where you have installed your JDK. The command to create a new key store with a new signing key inside of it is KeyTool. Then you have to pass in the flag GenKey, which specifies that we want to generate a new key. Then you have to pass in the flag -v followed by the flag -keystore, which takes in the name of the key store file that you want to create. In this case, we'll call it todo-app.keystore. .keystore is the extension of the file, while todo-app will be the name of the file. Next, you need to pass in a flag called alias followed by an alias that will be used to identify the key inside this key store. Let's call this alias as todo-app as well. Next, we'll use the keyalg flag to specify the algorithm that will be used to create this key. Here, the parameter will be RSA. Next, we need to specify a key size, which will be 2048. And finally, we have to specify a validity. This is the validity in days of this new key that we are just creating. So we'll pass in 10,000. Let's go ahead and press enter, and now I am prompted to enter a new key store password. So for now, I'll just go ahead and enter a password. Now that I have entered the password, I am prompted a few basic questions about the developer and the organization behind this application. So I'll just go ahead and answer all these questions real quick. Finally, I'll just go ahead and press enter because I want to keep the password for my key same as the password for the key store. If you want, you can specify a different password. And now our new key has been created. If you look inside the Explorer in Visual Studio Code, you can see that I have a new file called todo-app.keystore. And this is the key store file that we have just created. Inside this file, we have a key with the alias todo-app, which is protected by a password. Next, we'll use this new key that we have just created to sign the APK file that we have right here. To sign the APK file, we have a utility called jar signer, and again, this utility lives inside the JDK folder. So I'll just go ahead and type in jar signer -verbose because we want to see all the information while the application is being signed, followed by the flag signing algorithm. In short, you have to type in SIGALG. And the parameter is going to be SHA1 with RSA. This is the signing algorithm. Then you have to specify a digest algorithm, which will be SHA1. Next, you have to specify a key store that you want to use to sign the application. In our case, we have the todo-app.keystore file, and then you have to specify the path to your APK file. And for that, you can either go ahead and type out the path manually, or you can just go ahead and drag and drop the APK file onto the terminal and the whole path appears. The last parameter that we need to pass in is the alias that we defined while creating our key store. For us, the alias was to-do app. Let's go ahead and press enter, and we are prompted for the password. So I'll enter the same password that I defined while creating my Keystore. And as you can see that the APK file has been signed. In this step, no new APK file is generated. The APK file is signed in place, which means that this is the APK file which has been just signed using the Keystore and the key that we created in the last step. The name of the file, however, is still app-release-unsigned.apk, but this APK is actually now signed. In the last step, we'll use the zip-align utility to run some optimizations on this APK and create another APK that we can upload on the Google Play Store. And this utility is provided to us by the Android SDK, and it lives inside the Build Tools folder inside your Android SDK folder. So let's go ahead and type in zip-align-v, and you have to pass in 4 after that, followed by the path to the file. So I'll just go ahead and drag and drop the file again. And then finally, you have to specify name of the final file that you want to be created. So I'll just go ahead and type in to-do app version 1.0.0.apk. Go ahead and press enter, and the process is successful. If you open the Explorer right now in Visual Studio Code, you can see that I have a new file called to-do app v1.0.0.apk, and this is the final APK file that we can go ahead and upload on the Google Play Store. So now that we have created the final deliverable APK file, in the next video we'll learn how we can upload this app and submit it for review to be published on the Google Play Store.